So there is a huge archiving website called Accord's Library that is basically dedicated to archiving every single piece of content made by a Japanese creator, Yoko Taro. And the website has actually just been hit, apparently, by a cease and desist by Square Enix. And it has announced that it is shutting down in just 2 weeks from now on October 31st. This is not the first time we've seen something like this happen. There have been certain emulation websites, and I even think of like ROM websites that have been shut down. One can sometimes consider those to be a form of archiving, but this is a little bit different. This is a bit unique. I have to be honest, I've never heard of this guy, Yoko Taro, this Japanese creator, but already I just have to say right off the bat, this guy sounds awesome. He wears like a creepy mask wherever he goes, or at least for all of his in-person stage appearances. Basically, he's like the marshmallow of Japan, but in my opinion, he seems cooler. He kind of does a lot of different things. He works on a lot of video games, but he does more than video games. I think he also makes like mangas and writes novellas for certain IPs, I guess. And I believe he just has his own stories as well that he writes. I don't know if he actually draws the mangas or if he just writes them out, but regardless, yeah, he's a very creative person. He works on a lot of different stuff. So yeah, this whole website, Accord's Library, yeah, because Yoko Taro makes a lot of stuff, this website is dedicated just for archiving all of his content. So all video games, novellas, mangas, everything. I don't know how long it's been around. There's not much info I can actually find on this website. According to the statement that they did release about this cease and desist, they've been around for several years. Now, it's worth mentioning the games he works on, I don't think have actually been archived like in the form of like ROMs on this website. Rather, it just seems that everything is like a scan. So obviously the mangas, the comics, the novellas, they're all basically scanned into this website. And then as far as the games that this guy worked on, it looks like it's just basically the game art that is scanned in. I don't think it's the actual game itself. Now, of a lot of these properties that Yoko Taro has worked on, some have to do with Square Enix. Yeah, there could be more, but the two that I see that he has really worked on for Square Enix are these game series called Drakengard and the spin-off called Nier or Nier. Yeah, I feel really out of the loop because I have to be honest, I have not heard of either of these. Maybe that makes me crazy, I don't know. But they look really good. The series look very well received. And it looks like there's a lot of lore behind these games, and if I understand it correctly, I think Yoko Taro not only has worked on these games themselves, but also some of the, I think, mangas or comics that kind of make up some of the backstories behind these games. So they were archived on this website. Hence the Square Enix cease and desist that just happened. Now, I don't know if this cease and desist was the result of Square Enix taking issue with the games and like the game art being scanned in, or I think if I were to guess, it's probably more to do with like the full mangas that were scanned in. I mean, game art is one thing, but yeah, apparently this is taking like entire mangas, entire products, and scanning it onto the website. Now, with that being said, from what I'm seeing on Reddit, something that people are pointing out, which kind of makes this cease and desist a little ridiculous if this is true, is that a lot of these mangas are from a very long time ago, and they're pretty much near impossible to actually obtain, hence the need for the archiving. That's kind of the whole point, obviously, of archiving. So yeah, if all of that is true, then in my opinion, it's kind of bogus that Square Enix would want to take this down, would want to, you know, cease and desist this website and come to some sort of agreement with the website owners that they will shut down the website. Because yeah, I mean, hey, if they're scanning in your products that you basically don't sell and they're not available anywhere, digital or physical, then in my opinion, why take issue with it? But regardless, yeah, Accord's Library is shutting down. Now, what's interesting is that they are staying live for the next 2 weeks until October 31st, when they are indefinitely shutting down. Now, that's kind of interesting because I would think Square Enix would say, no, you need to shut down immediately since they came to, you know, this deal. Because obviously now everybody has 2 weeks now to basically make an archive of this archive website, which I'm sure is what people will do, and maybe that was kind of the thought process of why Accord's Library may be pushed for Square Enix to allow them this 2-week grace period. And I don't know if it will get dumped onto, you know, just a different archive website. Who knows? I'm sure it'll be like shared around in Discord channels or something like that. But the point is, it's now going to go back to being very difficult to obtaining these products, these mangas, and maybe game art that are basically just completely unavailable nowadays. Archiving is very important, and it is too bad when a big company company like Square Enix issues a cease and desist. I mean, on one hand, I could understand if it was just, flat out like full dumps of games, like illegal ROMs, especially for games that are like currently being sold. Yeah, that I can understand, but for, game art or mangas from decades ago, yeah, it's pretty odd, and it is an unfortunate setback for the archiving community.